What is minimalism, and can it be achieved with 2 small children? In today's episode, I'm going to introduce you to Hannah and Josh, who have recently downsized to a tiny house with their 2 young boys, ages 3 and 1. Without further ado, let's take a tour of their gorgeous home located on a farm in northern Washington.
Make this house our tiny home.
Hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Hannah, and this is our tiny house. We recently moved to the area after living in a big city, and we tried to buy a house, but after placing a lot of bids that fell through, we looked into alternative living situations. We decided to go tiny after we saw this tiny house on the Facebook market page. We were able to pay for it with cash because it was a secondhand tiny house.
Having 2 kids in 280 square feet is challenging at times. Why not? But it's also really fun. Family time is 100% of the time.
What is the plan for as they get older?
Put them in a tent.
This is kind of our 5-year plan. So because we were able to pay with cash to buy this house, we're trying to save up more money. So they'll be elementary age kids when we probably decide to expand our home size a little bit.
All we really need is inside 280 square feet. And if I have a smaller house to maintain, then there's just less worry.
Come on into our home. It's 34 feet long, 8.5 feet wide, 13.5 tall, so legal to go down the road as a trailer. We cook full-time, 3 meals at least here every single day. We did not want it to feel like a tiny home galley kitchen. We wanted it to feel like a full-size kitchen, and when we looked at this was the reason we bought our tiny house. All of our drawers are deep, and the ones on top have secondary drawers. All soft closed drawers, so our 2 little kids can't slam them. We have butcher block countertops. We have floating shelves, which are fun to decorate and make the space seem a little bit larger. We love our farmhouse sink. We love that it's white. Our 1-year-old and 3-year-old often take baths in this sink. And I love the fact that it has a window right here where I can look out and see the kids play. We can look out and see the farms in the area. We have a full-size oven and range with 5 burners. These are Nice Spice little jars. They're magnetic, so you can, just put them on any metal surface. It's kind of fun. They have a really pretty honeycomb shape. So this is our fridge. It's 10 cubic feet. So technically an apartment size fridge, but it fits our family of 4's food for 2 weeks just fine. Like, we don't feel like we need a huge fridge to be okay here. So this is our barnyard door. It rolls on gliders. It is a chalkboard, but our poor child who used it didn't realize you couldn't use anything other than chalk on the chalkboard. Here we have a washer dryer combo. At first I wasn't quite sure about it because we had a separate washer and dryer in our last house that had higher capacity. But now that I have a washer dryer combo, I kind of love it because I just put the laundry in, I start it, and then when I come back a couple hours later, it's washed and dried. There's no switching it over, there's no forgetting, and honestly, I'm doing a load of laundry every day anyway, so I'm not feeling like I need a high capacity machine anymore. This was another huge selling point. I've never seen a shower this big in any of my tiny home adventures. Under here, there's another 3-tier rack where we store all of the toiletries, my hair care. Right next to it is a diaper pail. We cloth diaper our youngest child, and it works just fine in this space. In fact, I think we like it because we don't have to find storage for a bunch of disposable diapers in the house. We just have one set of cloth and it works great. The last thing in our bathroom, of course, is our toilet. This is a separate composting toilet. At first I was a little weirded out by the toilet, but now that I've used it, I think it's really efficient. It's pretty clean, and all of our guests aren't weirded out by it because it looks like an actual toilet versus a lot of other composting toilets that are more like a bucket with a lid, so to speak. The kids use it. We have a little separate, pun intended, seat for them, and it actually sits right on top. They do their business and then they pick it up themselves, wipe it down, and set it in its corner. And then the last thing on this end of the house is his and her closet. It came with the rod on the top, and when we purchased it, we outfitted it with some additional shelves to create more storage. Over here is the desk that I do all of my social media work on. When I'm not doing my business work here, oftentimes I'll pick my Mac up from the base here, move it along this wall. It sits on our counter here, we plug it in, and this is what we use for our TV. So we use Netflix, YouTube, different things like that instead of standard cable here. We do have central heat. It's electric. We have 3 units in our home. The first unit that we primarily use is right here by the front door. It's easy to adjust. The second one is currently behind our couch. For obvious reasons, we don't use it because our couch is in the way. And the third one is in our bathroom. When we needed air conditioning, we purchased a unit that can be placed in this window here. So we just recently took it out because it's coming into the fall and winter time. But in the summer, having a window unit was plenty, again, for this space, keeping it nice and cool for ourselves and for our kids. This is our living room. This is where we eat. This is where we watch TV. This is where we just hang out. This side table you see over here is from IKEA. It actually folds out to be a table that can seat up to 6 people. We eat right in front of this couch right here. We have a few chairs stored in the back. Every stair here has storage. So we store like our little children's shoes down where they can reach them. You know, we have things stored in all of these which have hinges. And then under the taller stairs, we have storage for our larger possessions here. Things for our dog, our coats, which get wet here in the Pacific Northwest all the time, and our cleaning supplies. We have our boys sleeping both on one bed. We found that they sleep better when they're kind of sleeping closer together versus being on 2 toddler beds. All of our kids' clothes are stored on this little shelving unit. So when we tell them to go find a shirt or go find a pair of pants, we give them the responsibility of finding their own clothes, even in this small space at a young age. The first project we did in this home was to put this gate up. We just buckle it, and our 3-year-old who's competent on the stairs can get down from the stairs, but our 1-year-old who is not has to ask for help. This is a king-size bed here, and as you can see, there's still a little bit of space on each side of the bed. What we love is the skylights. We love that the windows let some airflow up here. I think each loft has 8 outlets, which is a huge perk of this house. We're never vying for outlet space.
So we've been here for about 6 months. All this dirt here will eventually be grass, and we'll have a nice yard and probably a small little chicken coop up in the corner. It was just kind of overgrown blackberries and old farm equipment that was just kind of stored here, but we've cleaned it up and leveled it. There was actually kind of a ditch right here. We're kind of cleaning it up as payment for rent for the plot of land. It's pretty great living on a farm. The boys love living on the farm. What's the alpaca's name? Allie the alpaca.
If you were to ask us a year ago if we'd be living in a tiny house, that's not what our plan was. Our plan was to buy a large house, but it wasn't an option for us. And if we weren't open-minded, we would never have had this opportunity to be on our way towards our dreams of having a little homestead. And I would not choose it any differently for our 2 little kids. I wouldn't choose it different for us. And I don't know, I just feel like these 6 months have really flown by and have been just a really fun experience.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to check back soon for more tiny house and travel videos.